All right, 3, 2, 1. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Tech It Up with Cafe Cultura. It's your girl, Jayla, and I am once again always excited to bring you guys the most amazing founders and people of color making waves, making change, bringing change into not only the tech world, but our world in general. Which brings me to our guest today, which is a very multifaceted talent, to say the very least. M- Kayla, welcome.
What's going on? Thank you so much for having me today.
No, thank you for being here. This has been, I feel like, a long time coming. So I'm really excited about having this conversation with you and to hear all of the amazing things that you have been doing and are now doing and what's coming in the future. So let's get started with a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about Kayla.
Well, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Jayla? Yes, I'm Kaila Love, aka the AI Homegirl. And honestly, I started off as a rapper, and I said that's all I
Hey.
everything that I've achieved in life was just because I wanted to be a rapper. But I realized that being known, having my music heard, wasn't a matter of talent or even production quality. It was also a matter of knowing the business, knowing how to make sure your music is properly copywritten, how to register to receive your royalties, how to create content to attract, new fans, and how to monetize directly. And that's what set me on a path to know all of those things, to go back to school, get a second degree, to immerse myself in music
Wow.
conferences and professional development, and eventually tech tools now in the age of AI. So that's really kind of the seed that has been blossoming over these last 15 years.
I resonate with that so much because I started in radio and that led me to
Mhm.
so many different avenues to now like being in tech
For
is
sure.
like it's been so like I can't believe my journey. I would have never like thought half of these things were on my bingo card like they like to say nowadays.
Mhm.
but
That's
it but it is. So how has it been going from rapper to founder?
Oh man, well, it's been amazing because I was really my customer, my ideal
Yeah.
target, right? And I knew the pain that I was going through was that there had to be a better way. I don't want to sell my soul to the industry. I don't want to compromise on my music. I don't have a big budget. I don't have a huge team, but I feel like I got to play the role of, the manager and the booking
Yeah.
agent and the PR and the content creator. And so I was developing ways to always address those problems individually. I had gone to a conference and I learned about sink licensing. I'm like, what's that? NSYNC, the kitchen sink? I'd never heard this term before.
Ah,
There was people making bread off of doing sync license. That's all they did. They didn't perform. They just made music for it to be featured in a Toyota commercial or whatever. And so I would be like, you know what? That's my goal. I'm gonna get my music sync
yeah.
license. And then I got into NBA 2K and ESPN the day that my song
Wow.
dropped. It was featured on a show called The Jump. And then it was kind of a each one teach one model. People would be like, hey, I seen you on 2K, or what's up, how you did that? And then I would start teaching artists, about metadata and how to create a proper lyric sheet and how to make sure your contracts are in place for you to enter into those sync licenses legally, things like that. So that it's been amazing because I
So
was actually able to do the thing myself and then create a solution that now was kind of like a turnkey where I'm able to provide that to other people. And now with tech, with I can just multiply those effects and impact on a larger scale.
it's incredible because, sometimes people see the finished product only, which is that song or you were on 2K, you
Yeah.
know, it's but they don't realize the process that goes behind it, right?
Hmm.
And how difficult it is and how much that is, I guess, what makes and breaks a lot of people because it's super tedious.
It's
It's
been
not
2 years.
yeah, it's tedious and it's hard and it's not the fun and glamorous part of the job at all, but it's one of the top parts of the job.
It sure is.
So, what do you tell? people who think it's easy that come up to you and they're like, well, I want to do it. How can I license too? Because like you mentioned that you also were teaching others as well.
I mean, part of it is like, oh man, if you think it's easy, be my guest, go for it. Show me something I don't know. Or you can kind of fast track and learn everything that I've known. And I have master classes, I have replays, I have a lot of resources out there. But it's kind of like all things. You always see all these quick ways to make money. Oh, you can do it through drop shipping, you can do it through Amazon, you can do it through online, and everything can work. But most people are not willing to be
Put in the work.
themselves over a long period of time. And of course, all these like scammy marketers make it seem that they'll have that one case study of somebody who did it. But again, it's like what you're saying, Jayla. They didn't really show that that person was willing to wake up an hour earlier. That person was willing to stay
Hmm.
2 hours late. That person was willing to do a 9 to 5 and then a 6 to 10 on their own business. And that's kind of why things get a little, murky sometimes, because we don't get to see a lot of that hustle and grind. And that's the reality of what it takes when you're achieving any type of goal.
So Kayla starts off rapping, goes into founder life. What was that first step in founder life? What was that first company you started, or that first idea that was like, okay, I'm going to be a founder?
Oh, well, it was kind of like it crept up on me. It wasn't like I had made this declaration like, hey, I'm going to be a founder and I'm going to do this and change the world. It was like, you know what? I got some skills and a lot of people have been asking about it in my community. So I started making Music Monday videos and sharing little tidbits of information just so I wouldn't have to repeat the same information over and over in the DM. So it's like, let me send you this link. Then it was starting to create resources and guides and things like that because I had a background in curriculum development in the nonprofit world. And then it was like, you know what? I love bringing people together. Let's go ahead and do this in-person event. So that's what happened in 2019. And then it kind of just kept getting more polished and more official. And so that's where it started to really manifest.
I love that part. Ooh, let me bring myself back.
I was like, where you want to
I disappeared for a second. No, I love to hear these stories because I feel like it's so inspirational. Like, not everything just comes from one place, right? We come from all these backgrounds of ideas and different stories and different, you know, uh, work ethics, really, because a lot of the time we get our work ethic from our background. Tell us a little bit about your background, family wise, and what city you represent.
Hey, well, I'm representing the Bay Area, California. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to my family background, well, I didn't have parents. Neither one of my parents graduated from high school. I was raised by my great grandma, so my mom's grandma. And it was just, I was in the library every day. I never went on a field trip. I never left the house except to go to school or the library. She was very, very overprotective. And that's where I learned a lot of my technical skills because that was my place of escape. I would be on the computer. I would teach myself how to do a self portrait in Microsoft Paint at the age of 4. I would teach myself coding before I knew what I was actually doing. So yeah, and I guess it wasn't really like the work ethic, but it was like I knew I didn't have any really role models of what to be, but I had a lot of role models of what I didn't want to be. And so, I had a big gap to fill too without having parents that had achieved even a high school education for me to go on and become the first in my family to ever go to and graduate college and from the number one public university in the world, UC Berkeley, and on a full scholarship and performing in front of a crowd of 30,000 people with Nancy Pelosi opening up for me, which of course is like a huge honor as a political science major.
That's amazing. I love. I feel like you're like me. Like, we're Renaissance women. We take whatever comes our way and we make it work, right?
Mhm.
Um, and those are kind of skills you do coping, growing up under the circumstances.
Mhm.
Being a child of immigrants, I had to start the company and help with the payroll and do the phone calls and translate everything from English to Spanish. So I completely resonate with what you're saying. You know, now rolling that even further from there, going to Berkeley and doing all of these things. what were those next steps? Because, like you said, it crept up on you. So,
Mhm.
what were those next steps that kind of was like,
Right.
hey,
So after I went to UC Berkeley, it was actually like a month after graduation. Well, one of my close friends had been got killed, and that was
I'm
really a
sorry.
shock for me because I had just achieved the greatest achievement of my entire life. Like this long, like a grueling 5 years, and it just felt like it really almost didn't matter because it was like, wow, just for life to be taken, for you to think that you're kind of escaping this background, and there it is right in front of you, slapping you in the face. And it was definitely a shift in me because I never had the confidence, for example, to rap battle. It was like I seen all the guys up
Yeah.
there, and I felt like, if a guy messes up, they'd be like, that dude's corny, that dude sucks. But if I get up there and I mess up, that it'll reinforce all of the negative stereotypes about women rappers not being able to actually rap. And so I never felt like I could see myself in that environment. But my friend, that was who I would go out and see battle rap all the time. And when he uh, got killed, it gave me the confidence to not even care anymore. It was so much bigger than that because it's just like I
Yeah.
lost my friend, somebody who has so much potential to die at such a young age, 2 weeks after his 21st birthday,
Oh,
and that's what gave me the confidence to get up there and go on to become a rap battle champion and a freestyle champion. And every time I went to that event, people are always asking me if I'm going to battle. And that type of grit and taking a chance on yourself is what has led me through entrepreneurship and taking some of those bigger risks and maybe doing things that seem a little bit outrageous, because I just have this unshakable belief in myself that has developed over moments like that, to the point where I finally went after my dream business partner and partnered with her, and then we like officially launched the business and did 6 figures in 6 months. So
amazing.
yeah, it's kind of coming and rooted from a lot of the road paved in from my musical experiences.
What going through these experiences, I mean, there's so much value to it. It's priceless, I feel like, life experience in general. What piece of advice do you have for up and coming founders, or, people who want to become entrepreneurs or want to become founders, have this idea, but they're just too scared?
That you don't have to know everything, you just have to be willing to figure it out. That's one of the
Oh,
pieces
I
of
love that.
that changed my life. And two, you will go out there and you will see people that are less talented than you, less articulate than you, less intelligent than you, doing way more and making way more than you, simply because they had the courage to step out and say they could and put themselves out there, believe in themselves, take a bet.
That's amazing. That's great advice. I mean, it's true. It's about what, like they say, it's the opportunity, right? Um where right place, right time, and you just never know where that is. Have you ever had one of those right place, right time moments? I mean, I'm sure you have, but what's one of them that really sticks out the most that was really a life changer?
Whew. I mean, every aspect of my life. Like I'm a believer. I believe in God. It like he guides my steps. And I pray. I'm very just trust the process, trust in God type of person, and everything has aligned. Even in situations where it's like, man, everything seems to go wrong. I didn't get this grant and I feel like I'm the most qualified contestant for it or thing. And then I look back, I'll be like, oh, bet, because if I would have got that, I wouldn't have done this, and this is so much bigger. So I would just say, even down to my business partner, right? It was just like this was somebody I had admired that I wanted to partner with. And like I would look at my journal and I would like write about, I pray about her. And I went to a music retreat in Costa Rica and
Hey, I'm Costa Rican.
Pura vida. So I went out there to a music retreat and 3 o'clock in the morning, all the way in Costa Rica. She walks in my room and is my roommate. So it's just
Wow.
like the things that I've manifested has been like just so specific, and it does take time. It takes a lot of energy and intention and inspired action, but I think that that's led to a lot of those right time, right place type of moments eventually.
Let's talk about what you have. I don't want to go too far into the future. So let's talk about what's going on right now.
Mm-mm. Ooh, pivotal moment.
Because we're catching you at a, I'm getting a sneak peek, I guess
Mm,
I can say. And we're gonna have this episode, and then months from now we're gonna do a follow-up interview, and we're gonna see the changes that are happening. But talk
amen.
to us about this pivotal moment right now that's going on with Kayla.
Oh man, it's just like being in 2025, really only like 2 years into generative AI tools like ChatGPT, and just the massive technological revolution that's happening right now, not just in this era, in this decade, but in the timeline of our species as humans.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I'm just like, wow, we seriously have an opportunity here to shape the future of the human species. Like, that's really how deep it is for me when it comes to what this technology is. And I understand a lot of the fears and the resistance to AI, but I also see a lot of the opportunities and a chance for the tables to be turned if we have enough people that actually are not just using it, but influencing how it's built. A
Oh,
lot of us infusing our culture and our identities and our stories into AI, that right, it's only something that is as powerful as the person behind it, as the person who has the creativity that can imagine just a different reality. So right now my brand is, it's the AI Homegirl, breaking down AI so you can level up. And it's really about empowering, small business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives to use AI in a way that's authentic, is rooted in humanity and culture, and is able to free up our time, make it feel like we got teams, that we have a lot of the resources that
yeah.
have been separated from our communities, so that we can get to the parts of our lives and our careers that really matter, which is showing up for people.
What advice do you have for, I'm not trying to date myself or anything. But at least I come from a generation that we saw all of the technology start, with online and computers and all of that. So now where we have, like you said, the species, this era, I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I see how completely different I work a little bit more, I thread more lightly, and she just jumps off the cliff without even looking down.
Mm,
And I feel like that's such a I sometimes I feel like that's what our parents thought about us, but I feel like this is to a different extreme, because now technology is a crazy thing, because you have people, under the age of 10 making millions and billions.
right. Yeah, it's insane about what this next generation can really do. But it's also like, oh, you are making all that money without the experience, without the wisdom, without the guidance, with being so impressionable. Like, that's also a really scary thing.
I mean, it's scary to see it happen, but how does that shape, I guess, the future? Because it's obviously, you can feel it shaking up industries across the board. Everything from music and entertainment to, like you said, small businesses to, you know, businesses all over the world. We're not just talking here in the US. How do you think all of that shapes that? You being the AI home girl, because I know new things or things that develop fairly quickly, like AI, are scary for a lot of people.
Hmm. Well, I think it's really leaning into that this is a tool, and you should not be dependent on AI to replace you having critical thinking skills. That is like one of the scary things. And in my opinion, it should really enhance, because when everybody has access to the same tools and technology is more democratized, what is the difference between one output versus the next? It's still the person, the human behind it. So a lot of the output is only as good as the input. So it's still like the need to develop ourselves, to develop our creativity more than anything, because that is really what's shaping the future. It's also like how Duolingo just had made an announcement that they are not going to be hiring any humans and that they're going to replace all of these entire teams by AI. And it's just like not the way to go. Even at the Startup Grind conference, I was watching a panel about VC trends for the future in 2025. And one of the panelists was even agreeing, like, no, the magic happens when you take the AI and you're using it to enhance the human experience, when you're using and you're pairing it with a human, not replacing a human. And so I think that this next generation who's shaping the future, we need to still instill the idea of what humanity is, why it's important, before
Mhm.
they are just like turned into an automation or completely losing and lacking critical thinking skills or context or history, right? We should not be depending on ChatGPT to supplement those things for us completely. So,
That reminds me of a episode of SpongeBob where they replaced, I guess in one of the new movies. This is how you know I have a kid. And they put an empathy chip inside of a robot.
oh, how did I miss this episode? I'm gonna go look it up.
Yeah, I think it's from the Plankton movie.
Oh, okay, maybe because that's why I think I just
Yeah, it's on one of the streaming sites. I'll send you all the info. But that's something that they do, and it got me thinking, like, wow, like this is kind of where we're at realistically, where we have this AI, we have these robots to say, and it's like, do you put an empathy chip into them? Are they more humanized? Do, like you said, do you want that almost partnership of human AI to make it different? So it brought me back to that. So now you got to watch the Plankton
I know
movie.
I gotta watch it now because I've been having deep conversations about empathy lately.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Hit one right there.
for real, like the E word. Oh, okay, noted.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I feel like, we're losing touch on some things.
Mm,
And I feel, empathy seems to be one of them. A lot of it is me, 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 me. And, it's easy to get wrapped up in me because we were also taught, self-love, boundaries and self-awareness and self, be selfish. And
mm,
then it's like, how much selfish is selfish and how much, where there's the opposite end where people are too empathetic and they're being walked all over.
mm.
So
Right.
that's my I feel like that's my circle of life. Like
Not for real. That's a very valid point because I see a lot of that for sure.
so we mentioned, what you're working on now. I know you have on your email goal getters. I don't know
Hmm.
if you want to touch base a little bit on goal getters.
Yeah, for sure. So Go Getters is a all-in-one CRM platform that helps musicians monetize their music at 100 times what they would earn on Spotify through going direct to consumer. So it includes everything from, your what we call is like our music monetization machine, our funnel. Being able to attract new fans by not sending them to a platform where you're going to get a fraction of a penny per stream, but sending them to a platform where you be able to give away your music for free, build your email list. So in the event it happened to me that my Instagram got deleted one day, random day,
Uh,
you lose all your followers, you lose all your connects, and you realize that you never owned any of that data and that a third party has
yeah.
complete control. So it helps musicians to overcome that, to own their email list, their fans' data. So when they have their next show, when they have their next drop, when they're doing new merch rollouts, they can contact those fans directly. And we see that that's going to increase your influence, the relationship that you have with those fans, your turnout, and ultimately your profits in a way that Spotify could never.
I love, 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 love that because I see it happen way too often in the music industry, especially in the Latin music industry. It's easy, especially because, I feel like there's the Hispanic industry and then there's the Latin industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the Hispanic industry has a different backing than the Latin does. So I feel like the Latin part of it gets taken advantage on left and right between the American market and the Latin market. So this is right up that alley of things and conversations that need to get out,
Mm,
that people need to talk about, that people need to share and reference to, because it's so, so important. Like, there's nothing more that hurts than actually working and caring that much about building your following and having it done with a purpose than losing all of it for no reason.
no reason.
It hurts.
Mhm.
I've seen people cry, like, I've seen people really be hurt by it, and to some people, that's their livelihood. That's how they make money. Without those numbers, money doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I think having that much dependence on any one source is doesn't have to be a reality in like moving forward, right? Because we have technology, we have systems, we have uh yes, workflows that have never existed before where we can take advantage, but it's a lot of times whether it's like a small business owner or a rapper is like, yo, I'm just trying to like run my business. I'm trying to make music. I never wanted to be a content creator and a marketer and do an email list. I just wanted to, make my clothes and sell them or make my music
Yeah,
and perform it or whatever the case may be. And so I guess that's like where I step in is trying to provide something that is high quality and low barrier to entry by not overwhelming you with like all of these tools that you ain't even gonna use or don't even apply to you, but I just give you exactly what you need. Plug and play, baby. I done built the template. I done connected everything
I
on the
love
back
it.
end. You ain't got to worry about the code. I sat there and I, when I had torn my ACL, couldn't walk for 8 months. I taught myself how to code, build it out, press all the buttons. So you only got to press two. Okay.
That's so impressive, and I give you so much credit for doing that, because not only are you sharing this information and helping others build it out, you took the initiative to learn it on your own, which is so, let me tell you, people think it's easy and they're like, "Well, YouTube University." No. Some people don't have the
Because it'd
capability.
be like, how you trying to tell me to go to YouTube to watch something that ain't ever been built before? Like I'm having to piecemeal and try to apply what you built for a whole different use case to what I'm doing, and it don't match up exactly right. So, yeah, I've had a lot of frustrating times, and that's kind of also the gap that I seek to fill in, where it's like, okay, if I create an online course or whatnot or education program, it's like, no, I'm gonna give you exactly what you need, how it applies to you, in like the easiest way possible, so that you just go it because like YouTube be leaving a lot of holes. It'd be like, well, the
Mhm.
interface change. I'd be like trying to follow along. I'm 90% of the way there, but then the button that you clicking don't exist no more. Or like it's like, and now all of the work that I just did, and I don't have nobody to reach out to, or maybe I'm gonna try to join your
Girl,
community and crawl my way up in there.
don't
I'm
get me started, because
tired.
you're better than I am, I'm telling you. Uh, uh,
Woo.
but all of this has led to the AI Homegirl. So tell us
Mhm.
about what the future looks like.
Well, if you are out here in San Francisco, one thing you will immediately notice is that 9 out of the 10 billboards are for some type of tech tool, and 8 out of those 9 are for specifically an AI tool. And probably like 6 out of those 8 are probably around AI agents. Salesforce, the tallest building in San Francisco, has an annual conference that they normally call Dreamforce, and they called it
Mhm.
Agent Force this year. It is what all of the majors like the Salesforce and the Microsofts of the world are focused on. And it is one of those areas where we will get left behind and we will be depending on these larger entities to build the agents for us, inevitably using them because they will be incorporated into things like, Siri and a lot of the tools that we already do. But because AI and technology is being democratized, we also have the ability to customize and tap in a way that we've never been able to do before. You don't have to be a developer. You don't have to know a whole lot of coding. And there's people like me and the AI Homegirl brand that are working to make it accessible so that you don't have to learn it from scratch, that I'll be able to really extract your like stories and information about your business and create, a conversational chatbot or a voice agent where people can start booking your services through just calling a number or texting, and being able to handle every inquiry so that you never miss somebody that is reaching out for your business and leaving money on the table. And a lot of times the entrepreneurs, the small, like especially mom and pop shops, or even medium-sized businesses, won't have those tools in place, will be missing those calls, will not respond to those emails or those texts. And it doesn't have to be that way.
I totally agree with you. It definitely doesn't have to be that way. And right now, I feel like Jack, who's holding on to the door on the Titanic, holding holding on to dear life, and you're Rose. So don't let me go. I know he got let go, but don't let me go.
I know
Because
that,
I
bro.
got I got my AI homegirl now, which is gonna help me through all of my tech struggles.
Girl, don't you know it? Because I know I be going through to like translate, because there's a lot of these where I be like, oh no, my homegirls, like, or homies in general, would not sit here and have the patience to watch this video. But I'd be
Oh,
like, how do I take that and build it into something that they could use? Right. So that's the translation that I'm providing.
I absolutely love it. How can people get in contact with you? How can they throw money at you if you're a VC? How can they connect with you, partner up with you, or try to, grow with you?
Oh, well, I do have my Instagram. Well, my main one is KailaLove.ai, and my name is spelled KAI. So that's how you can remember it. The AI Homegirl, KAILA Love, KailaLove.ai. And I've just launched, my new Instagram that I'm working on building up with just specifically AI content, which is at the AI Homegirl. Feel free to also email me. You got my email, KailaLove at GoGetters, GoAlGetters.ai, for any collaboration inquiries or not. And I'm out here at these events, so I'm sure you're gonna see me sooner or later.
I love it, and I can't wait to bump into you in person so I could give you a big old hug because I feel like we already have a bond. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean,
I'm
Kayla, Jayla off
K
top.
it's already becoming something. I already see it. Kayla and Jayla, like, say less. Thank you so much, Kayla, for being on with us, and I can't wait to see what the AI homegirl has in store for the rest of 2025 and the future to come. Thank you so
Amen.
much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jayla.
That's it, guys, for another episode of Tech It Up with Cafe Cultura. Kayla's amazing. I'm going to go finish talking to her in the background. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.